So AJ and I wrote down what are the 3 common core issues that we see happen routinely again and again. It's the things that like are the roadblocks that keep agencies from taking that next step, or they get, 2 steps forwards and 3 steps back over and over again.
Yeah, absolutely. I've talked to so many different agency owners, and these are the 3 that pop up every single time. The first one is that you're just charging too little, right? You're not charging enough for the work that you do.
Yeah, does that sound like true at all? Like, do you feel like you could charge more for what you do? There's a roadblock, a mental thing, I think, where some people say, well, like, I charge this much because, well, that feels like a lot of money to me.
Yeah. Now, I've seen people that, like, when you start to break it down and talk about the amount of money they make, like, they see that they're charging too little as a result of that, right? So, like, somebody's selling a website for $2,000. Next question I ask them is, how much time are you spending on that? Oh, well, usually maybe 2 to 3 weeks, right? Well, 2 to 3 weeks, like what? Continuous time? Like, is it really 2 to 3 weeks? Or is it really 2 to 3 months? Like, once you start to look at how much time you're actually spending on it, you realize that you're not making much.
Yeah. And so when it comes down to like, what is a lot of money, I think we all have different versions of that. And when I was first starting, like I remember one of the first projects I sold was a $1,400 website to a local concrete company. They also shared the same business coach as I was using. That's how I got hooked up with the job. And after I sold the deal, I was so stoked. The check got signed. I got a call from my business coach. He's like, hey, just so you know, I had to go to bat for you to go get that job. I'm like, what do you mean? They didn't think I could do it? They're like, no, they thought you could do it, but they were just wondering why the hell it was so cheap.
Right.
And I had explained to them that even though you were the cheapest bid, that you were going to do the best job. It's like, Mike, you got to raise your prices. It was the first time I realized, it occurred to me that like what was expensive to me was not necessarily expensive to someone else. And I really thought that I was doing them a service, right? That I was like, hey, that's all I really need. I need this $1,500 to build the project. Like, I don't need to charge anymore. And that's the key piece I think that everyone's missing. It's about the need. My need wasn't great enough. And at the time that was true. But I started to think in time, well, what things do I need in my business? Well, I need vacations and I need, good health insurance, and I need to pay for my house that I bought. I need all these things. And when I started to stack up and do the math, I realized that what I was charging actually wasn't covering what I wanted to do. Like, I needed to hire an employee. I needed to pay my taxes. I needed to do those things. And in the moment I was pricing those things, I really wasn't giving true consideration to what my actual need was and what I should be charging.
Absolutely. And that's what leads to number 2, right? Which is they're doing all the work themselves. Guess what? If you're undercharging for everything, you don't have money to pay anybody else, right? Like, you're going to pay somebody and leave such a small margin, it makes you not want to do that. And doing all the work yourself is a recipe for disaster, guys.
And burnout.
Because guess what's happening while you're doing that project? Nobody's selling over here. And so that project ends and there's not a new project that's sitting there. And so it's really important, at least starting out, that you're able to sell something and then hand that thing off, right? Yeah. Imagine if a realtor had to build every house they sold. Like, how many houses would they sell, right? That's essentially what we're doing as agency owners when we sell a website, then say, cool, now let me roll up my sleeves and let me build this thing, right?
Right. And it's noble because we get into this, I think, because like it's interesting, it's fun work to do these marketing projects and design and whatever else. But in time, you have to realize that, like, if you're going to scale and build a business that's actually creating time and financial freedom, you have to let go. Agencies, I find, don't let go because they're selling these projects that are difficult to delegate. They're what we call snowflake projects that you can't really hand it off to someone else and expect that it's going to be done the same way that you have, that you would actually accomplish that. And that's just this like cyclical trap that I sell a project, only I can do it, but then like I'm not charging enough to hire anybody else. And so you can start to see like why these things are so highly correlated, that if you can charge more and if you can create some systems around what you sell, then that's what makes delegation even possible.
Well, the worst part about it is that you're setting a natural cap on what you can make too, because if you're doing all the work, you're essentially selling your time for money, right? And when you're selling time, which is a finite resource, there's only so much of that you have, right? I've seen situations where somebody will tell me, man, I went into this proposal and I was hoping that they would say no, because if they said yes, it meant that I was going to have to work this weekend or work nights, or I'm already working nights. And it's a horrible position to be in when you're trying to grow your agency, but you're hoping the person that you're selling to is going to say no, right?
Right. So the first issue is that you're charging too little. The second issue is you're doing all the work yourself.
Yep.
The third one is a key one that is actually almost like a combination lock to unlock the other two. It's about, we see so many agencies not going back to clients to sell them more stuff. They always think this default mode that I got to find a new client. Mm-hmm. Okay, I need more work. I need to find somebody new to work with. And the question I like to ask and really shine the light on is like, are your clients buying all of your other services?
Absolutely. That was something we did all the time, right? Anytime that we felt like sales were a little bit slow or that we weren't going to hit our goal, Mike and I would come up with this new campaign to go out there and find more people to bring into our world, right? And take through this long sales process. And when the truth is, we already had money sitting right there all around us. It was the people that already bought stuff from us.
Right.
You know, it's so much easier to set up a meeting, get something added with this person in just a meeting versus taking a brand new prospect that knows nothing about us through a whole new sales process, trying to get them on board with some of the services that we offer.
Right. I mean, in another video that we created, we talked about how we went and broke down the process of actually building $1 million in revenue and how we, you know, if you really look at it, you know, the more you charge, this is like basic, right? The more you charge, the less clients you have to bring on to reach whatever goal you're going after. And so if you're charging more and getting each of your clients to spend more money, like you have less clients. I think we could all agree, like less clients for more money is actually less work overall. Whereas if you have a ton of clients doing lots of different things, it becomes a lot harder to scale and track. We have all this other administrative aspects of running your business that's tough.
Yeah, I think the light bulb went off for me when we had a client that was spending on an annual basis, you know, $40,000 a year with us.
Right.
And I was thinking, man, Mike, how many people come to us saying they want $1 million agency, right? And it would only take 25 of those to make that happen, right? Think about that. 25 customers to hit $1 million. And I'm like, gosh, this is why it's not happening. People are out there selling websites for a couple of grand. It's going to take a ton of those people in order to make that happen. And that's what seems so daunting about the whole thing. So getting more wallet share from your existing clients, it's huge. It's a huge piece of this puzzle, and it's going to be what actually gets you to the end result that you're looking for.
Right. So these are the three categories. It's not charging enough, it's doing all the work yourself, and not selling more to your existing clients. If you can cover those three things, if you can attack and make a plan around addressing those three things, everything gets a lot easier in your business. And if you'd like to continue the momentum with this, we'd like to invite you into a momentum call with our director of coaching. On this call, we'll talk about these kind of issues. We'll figure out what exactly is the pain point for you and how to jump over that and skip past the challenges that you don't have to go through. You don't have to experience them yourselves in order to move past them. You can jump past it, and we'd love to help you with that.
Yeah, it took us 18 years to figure this out, guys, and we don't want you to go through that same process. Take the shortcut, hop on a call, we'll share all our secrets with you, and hopefully lead you down a great path.
Cool. So around the video, you'll see the opportunity to grab that, and we'll see you on the next video.